I did my community policing project on school resource officers. School resource officers are becoming more prevalent in schools across the country. School resource officers are sworn police officers used to provide security and crime prevention in schools. Resource officers are typically employed by local police or sheriff departments. The local police agencies that employ resource officers work together with school districts to provide a safer environment for students and staff. SROs have many of the same responsibilities as regular officers, such as the ability to arrest, respond to calls, and document incidents that occur in their jurisdiction. In addition to their responsibilities, they must act as mentors, attend school functions, and be visible in the community. SROs work closely with administrators and guidance counselors to assist students in need and provide them with support. Although SROs are beneficial and provide security to schools, some argue that they are unnecessary. Some people believe that having school resource officers sends the wrong message to students and leads to more juveniles being introduced into the criminal justice system. They think that money spent on SROs could be used to increase the number of teachers and guidance counselors to help students, and that schools should try to focus more on education instead of law enforcement. SROs are controversial because people feel that many juveniles are exposed to the criminal justice system when the school could have handled the situation instead of arresting or filing charges. Personally, I do not agree with any of these ideas about SROs because having an officer on campus is more beneficial than a problem. One of the most important parts of having SROs is the security provided. In an event such as a school shooting, having an officer on campus can make a world of a difference. This would limit the amount of time the shooter has before they can be stopped because the officer is already on campus, whereas if the school didn't have an SRO, it could take several minutes for assistance to arrive. Having an officer on campus could save the lives of several students or staff if a shooting ever occurred. The presence of SROs in schools may even prevent such attacks because the shooter would be more tempted to go to a school without an officer. Due to the increase of school shootings, some states are considering putting SROs from elementary to high school in every school throughout the state. I think putting officers in every school would be a good solution to limit the number of shootings because it would deter students from bringing weapons into the school. School resource officers can play an important role as mentors for the students. SROs work closely with students and staff to prevent violence and keep school grounds safe. In a national survey, about 94% of school resource officers said that they have been told about threats of violence from students. This shows that students are communicating with officers to prevent violence. Many officers report to talking to at least 50 to 100 students each day. SROs are able to build a relationship with staff members and children throughout the community. This is a great source of intelligence for police departments and a good way to provide security for the school. 93% of SROs say that they spend time one-on-one with students providing counseling. By having officers in schools, it helps build trust between law enforcement and the community and gives students a positive perception on law enforcement. School resource officers offer so much for schools that I think it is critical to have officers in as many schools as possible throughout the country. Not only do SROs provide security in schools, but also act as role models for students and work with staff to build better school environments. Although some people argue that school resource officers are not necessary, I think the benefits of having the officers around are more important. Without the presence of SROs, schools wouldn't be as safe and students would be more tempted to commit crimes.